Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BB-Scho. We're here back for NBA Tuesday. I know we're a little bit day late. We decided to call an audible on a reaction to Wild Card Weekend, and we will be doing that on Thursday. We'll be joined by Jake, so we wanted to save that for you guys for Thursday. But we're here with Luke today for NBA Tuesday. I'm once again joined by Christian as always. We got a lot on the dock today, talking some trade deadline rumors, top 10 centers right now, a couple parlay talk, gambling talk, as always, better or worse, and who he played for. But before we get into that, how you guys doing today?
Luke, I'll kick it to you, man. Work sucked, so
Yeah, I mean Tuesday, Thursday is rough for me. I got 4 back-to-back classes. So yeah, I'm a little tired, but excited for NBA Tuesday, man. Feeling good.
Nothing heals more than basketball.
Oh,
really
yeah.
sports in general. But
Do
no, I heard there's some cooking in the kitchen. I know you guys had some parlays going on. Excited to hear 'em.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Yeah, so let's see here. For the viewers out there listening, I'll just read off some games we got tonight. So we got the Raptors at Milwaukee Bucks at 7:30. We got the Nets at Spurs at 8 p.m. We got the Trailblazers at Nuggets at 9 p.m. And to kick it off, we have 76ers at Clippers. So some interesting games tonight. For this Raptors Bucks game, you guys got any predictions, player props, anything like that?
Giannis goes for 100. No.
No.
What do you got?
I'm pretty
What
sure
do you got, man?
the spread is 1.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Bucks. One at -1.5 tonight. The Bucks are usually a lock for me. I will throw them on almost every parlay because they're going to win like 60-70% of their games. So I like the Bucks tonight. I know it's supposed to, 1.5 is supposed to be a close game, but they just match up well. They're just a better team.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Giannis is playing tonight. I know that I think he was out their previous game, but yeah, I've also got the Bucks here. I feel like it's not the most obvious pick, but I don't know. I think Milwaukee's just going to kill him on the boards. As we know, we were talking about this earlier before we started, but the Raptors starting center is Pascal Siakam. I mean, I think he might be 6'7", 6'8" if he's, feeling good, but
6'9".
yeah. 6'8", 6'9", whatever. He ain't no Brook Lopez or Bobby Portis. So I think Bucks are going to kill him on the boards, and yeah, I think it'll be a good game though.
Yeah. What's the next game on the docket?
We got Brooklyn Nets at Spurs.
This is one of my favorite plays of the day. Nets -5.5, I think, is a lock.
Okay.
I know the spread has actually moved back a little bit, but I got in at 5.5, and I felt pretty good about it.
Okay. Yeah, -5. I do like that. It's changed to -4 now. I did read some stat that the Brooklyn Nets versus the Spurs when they go to San Antonio are like 2-20 something. I don't know. I don't want to scare you, but
great. Haven't they won like
have
16 of their last 17 games?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, this is not the same Spurs team as they have been in the past. Like, and I'm talking like early 2000s, 2010s, that type of thing. I think I would be comfortable with that -5.5, but yeah, it seems to be a somewhat high scoring game, nothing crazy, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to lean Nets here as well.
That's solid. And then I like the Sixers tonight as well. I know that's an upset pick, but it's the Clippers. I don't like the Clippers at all this year. So
yeah, we got Paul George and Kawhi both suiting up tonight for I don't know how many times they've actually played together with the whole team, but shout out to them. Yeah, I got Sixers. I mean, I'm a Sixers fan, so Harden's gonna go drop a triple double, and Embiid's probably 35 plus. That's my prediction on that.
How long you been a Sixers fan, man?
A while.
Trade deadline last year, I believe.
Yeah, that guy up in that poster behind me. I go where he goes, but Regardless, I digress.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. What else we got here? Okay, and then last game we got the Trailblazers versus the Nuggets. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't bet against the Nuggies. That's
Nuggets
a
are
pretty
looking
good
real
policy.
good.
They're
Yeah.
they're a top team right now.
Oh yeah.
And in my eyes, I don't really want to bet against them, especially Jokic,
Yeah.
Mister. I can do it all as a unathletic big man.
Yeah.
Craziest thing
Yeah.
I've seen in my life, man. The more you really break it down, like watch stuff, it's like, how is this guy quite literally, like statistically, one of the most efficient, if not best player in the NBA?
Yeah.
Like,
Don't know.
beats me, but
Dude, it looks
Nuggets
like
all
he
the way.
doesn't even try. Doesn't it looks like he doesn't even try out there.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
just he'll
throwing
take the ball and just
dimes.
throw it at somebody. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you can just Tom Brady TB12 throw that and it's a dime every time. But
Yeah. I
shout
would
out
I don't
to
know if we can
Nikola
really say
Jokic.
TB12 throws dimes anymore after last night, but
Ah,
oh
man.
boy.
I mean,
Oh
they
boy.
couldn't do anything else. Like,
they haven't been able to do anything else all year.
yeah. All right. No,
All right.
no,
Well,
that's fair. That's
anyway,
fair.
just some stuff I'll point out. Jokic is, I think he's averaging 9.8 assists right now, so that's just ridiculous. I
He's
mean,
close to a triple double, man.
yeah, he's on the border of
Basically there.
averaging one. Damian Lillard has been on a heater as of late. Against the Nuggets, he tends to go off, which I don't know. I don't really know why, but in their
Yeah.
last couple meetings, I think he had 31, 40, 34. Like he's pretty good. I definitely took his over on points tonight in one of my parlays, but yeah, as for I'll also lean Nuggets on that game as well. But yeah, only 4 games tonight. So yeah, I know you guys had some trade talk, some trade rumors. What'd you guys come up with? Because obviously nothing crazy has come out as of, January 17th, but I'm excited to see what you guys got to say.
Christian?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I guess the conversation really starts with the lack of trades. I mean, we are now, to my knowledge, yes, there's no watch on my wrist. I believe two and a
February
half
9th.
weeks. It's all right. So probably close to 3. Either way, I feel like we at least see one deal go down. Other than the Noah Vonleh salary cap, 900K saver, like
Yeah.
very minimal. No one cares, right? And I feel like more and more as I check my phone, it's like the OG Anunoby trade value is like through. They were saying like Dejounte Murray value is the asking price. They're not going to get it. Um, then I've seen Terry Rozier has become available. Pretty much anybody on the Hornets besides LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
And and really teams that just kind of have excess depth. I mean, the Clippers don't really need another guard, and really what John Wall brings is not something they typically need. I feel like the Pistons should definitely be sellers. They got Bojan Bogdanovic, who is okay. Well, there's two, right? There's the Atlanta one. It's either Bojan or Bogdan. I don't know. Whichever one's on the Pistons is
The better one.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a flamethrower literally all year. And I believe Eric Gordon from the Rockets as well is a hot name. But like no, like last year we saw Harden and Ben Simmons. At the time, Ben Simmons was, I mean, he was garbage, but he wasn't complete garbage. Yeah, like there was just some hot names getting moved last year. And I feel like this year it's more of those veteran, who he played for guys, a couple journeymen, and like John Wall, right? That like, we
Yeah.
love, like in terms of value, is kind of around that radar. Um, I guess my really just question to the panel is there a reason for this?
Yeah.
Like we've seen a lot of trades. Or is it more of just because the parity in the NBA has become a point now where everybody's pretty close? I mean, in terms of like records and whatnot, it feels like the standings move every week. I think a lot of GMs are honestly not too sure where their team sits, and some might think they're should be selling at the deadline when they shouldn't be. some should think that they're contenders when they're not going to be. Jazz kind of strike me as example. But whatever you guys think, I'm just kind of curious as to I haven't seen a whole lot, man.
Yeah, I think the market is a little different than it's been in years past, simply because of what you said. It's in my opinion, the standings are so congested outside of Denver, Memphis, and Boston
Yeah.
that there's really a lot of teams, GMs that feel like they're right there. They're just going to need a couple games to go their way. So why do they need to make a big blockbuster move, right? The only team we've consistently talked about like needing blockbuster, to make a big splash would be, in my opinion, maybe Dallas, right?
Oh
Where they
yeah.
They're
need
still a
that
fourth or
second
fifth
seed.
seed, though. Like,
And yeah,
as
they're
much as they
still a
need the
fifth
help.
seed. That's what I was about to say. So it's like, they're tied. They're 24 wins is tied with the Kings, who are 24 and 18. They just have three more losses, and they're 2 games back from the Pelicans in the 3 seed. So, but the difference is 20 wins in the West goes all the way down to the 13 seed with the Lakers, right? So it's a really deep conference. So you have these teams that think that they can get into the playoffs if they just get hot. And then in the East, it's more or less the same outside of Boston, man. Everybody's kind of on the same playing field in terms of wins. I think the bottom half of the East is worse, but they're not going to make a blockbuster move at the deadline. They're trying to get the first overall pick. So
Right.
that's kind of my analysis. I just don't think that there's a lot of players that are unhappy where they are because a lot of teams are contending. Right, the parity is just that good.
Yeah.
That's a fair take, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It is like you said earlier, Christian. It's kind of weird how stagnant things have been compared to like previous years. I mean, especially last year and the year before. I mean, there was blockbuster after blockbuster, but
It's like every other day.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think teams like Caleb also mentioned, like the Mavs. I feel like that's a team specifically that are not going to contend this year, but at least in the offseason, I mean, they have to do literally anything. They got to get Luka some help down there. I don't know really what they would do for this like specific trade line because I really don't think they have very many assets or cap to do so, but I don't know. As for actual trade rumors, I've heard some Kelly Oubre, I think his like contract is up after this season. I've heard mainly what I've heard is the Raptors. I heard that Siakam, he's probably gonna stay because he's their franchise player. I heard some OG Anunoby trade rumors, but I also saw a report that the owner, I forget the guy's name, but it's the Indian dude who's like on the
Oh,
court
I
when they
can't
won.
say it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I know who
forget
you're
his
talking
name, but
about.
I saw a report that he's super high on OG Anunoby. He's like considers him like another staple of that team. So I think that only leaves Fred Van Fleet, and I feel like he's having a below average year this year in all of his stats. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get shipped somewhere for, for whatever, but I don't know. I think a lot of teams could use a guy like Fred Van Fleet just as a ball handler, decent 3-point shooter. I think that his value's kind
Absolutely.
of down this year just because his stat line is down from past years. But yeah, man. Other than that, I mean, I haven't really heard very many rumors, if any, besides this Fred Van Fleet stuff. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, and I would add too, if Van Vliet gets moved or Drake gets moved, we're not going to think that that's some sort of blockbuster deal. It's going to be just like
Yeah.
Christian said with who he played for, kind of guys moving
Mhm.
around. Even though I only know him in Toronto, but
Yeah.
I would say
um,
actually, in terms of his numbers, I'll put some respect on Walmart Drake. He's got some decent numbers, but
yeah,
like when we say below average, like it's below average for what he's been giving the Raptors. In my opinion, he's been overperforming as a 6 foot in shoes guard. I mean, you look on the
Yeah.
court, he's not very big, but he provides a lot offensively, and I think teams that are looking that way again might make a deal, but like we've talked about, there's just not a whole lot of teams that, if they are lacking a bit offensively, are they willing to give up the amount of capital it takes to pry away a Fred Van Vliet from the Toronto Raptors? I don't know if teams are really going to be going that. It's got to be a team that's dire. And like you brought up before, the Mavericks, given their rankings, like they should be fine in terms of regular season, but I would say playoffs, they need another guy. I would consider that dire in terms of looking for a Fred
Is
Van
Van
Vliet,
Vliet that
Terry
much of
Rozier.
is he that much of a difference than Dinwiddie?
I think so. I think they keep Dinwiddie. I think they like honestly they need a guy off the bench. Like
Oh,
I'm
you're
pretty
saying
sure
okay.
last year it
I
was like
see what you're
Trey
saying.
Burke was like their sixth man, and I
Yeah.
really think just adding that assets of whether it's Fred Van Vliet, whether it's Terry Rozier, whether it's John Wall, that's kind of the names I have in mind for really the Mavericks, the Lakers, even the Suns. I don't know what their
Yeah.
situation is. I really think they could use a major piece off the bench. I mean, no one doubts their starting five, but obviously something's wrong if they're not contending anymore.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
I think part of that probably starts with the depth. So those are just kind of teams to be in mind. But again, this is all we're all just speculating here. Like it's very weird that none of these have really formulated. We don't have anything really in the works right now. Like the Sixers Nets thing, it was predicted like a week or so before it happened. Like Shams and Woj, they're usually all over this.
Yeah.
And I feel like they either are on vacation or just cannot find an inkling of what's going on. So that's really all I have to say. I don't know if you guys have some like other trade ideas to shoot, spitball, but it's kind of weird out here, man. I
Yeah.
think that's
I
why we're
mean,
kind of in ranking players.
yeah,
Yeah,
really.
it also could be noted that we have the best number one overall prospect that we've had in a while
Yeah.
coming up. So those teams that might make a deal in other years kind of are looking at that and saying maybe we can get them, that sort of thing.
But if I'm
Um,
like the Pistons or like the Rockets, wouldn't I dump everybody on my roster that like has any sort of play value? Like I'd be throwing out rookies and the G League squad.
well, but like so many of these teams, outside of like the only guy I can think of that's like a vet is like on those kinds of teams is like Eric Gordon. But like the
Yeah.
Pistons have this extremely young core. They're not going to move Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, or any of those other guys, right?
I'd like to see Bogdanovich get moved, but
That would
yeah,
be
I hear where
one,
you're coming
yeah.
from.
But then the same thing for the Thunder. They're not going to move any of these young pieces that they've been tanking for a couple of years and acquiring. We said the Hornets are willing to move anybody except LaMelo, so maybe there's your
Yeah.
answer. But
Yeah.
yeah, outside of that, like we have a lot of like darling, like media favorite rebuilds going on right now, if that makes sense.
No,
So,
no, that's a very fair way to put
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
I
Think
just had to bring it up.
think these
It's
teams are just racing to get a new six man, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, there's not really any superstars at least that I could see getting shipped, especially before February 9th. But I
absolutely.
hope that, something crazy would happen. I mean, geez, the Woj bomb is basically extinct at this point, but
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
I'd love to see some like Siakam to wherever, or who knows
Yeah.
what. But the reality of that happening is probably low. So we'll keep our hopes up. But yeah, I mean, we're just speculating here. So still got a couple weeks left. Hopefully, Woj will bless our phones and we'll find out
Yeah.
something. But till then, man, we're we vibing. We vibing.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's pivot a little bit. We're gonna debut a new segment new to this show. We're gonna call it Chen's 10, because
Nice.
Christian assigned us to make a top 10 list of the top 10 centers. So we all have a list. We're gonna call it Chen's 10, and we're gonna go kind of one by one up and down the ladder, and just list our number one guy. We'll all do it. See if there's any debate. Go two, three, four, all the way down to 10. So I'll kick it off. I don't think there's going to be much debate here, but my number one current center in the NBA is Nikola
Nah, that's ridiculous. I'm
Jokic.
kidding.
I
I'm
can't
kidding.
stand for it.
No, it really, if there is any pushback on this one, I think it's ridiculous. The fact that in terms of a lot of the guys we're going to list are way more athletically talented than Nikola Jokic, and he's far and away better than anybody we're going to say really efficiency wise, scoring. Um, he's just Luka as a center is really the best way I can describe it. So number
Couldn't
two, Luke, who'd you have in number two?
Well, I actually had Jokic at my number 2,
Yeah, I
but
knew you. I saw the
it's
look on your
okay.
face, and I
You know,
knew you
hey,
were gonna do
I didn't
that.
see the
listen,
look.
all right.
I did not.
I think that these guys are interchangeable. I would probably have to give the edge to Jokic. Like I'm not, I see what's going on here. This guy is not from this earth, all right? I'm gonna just throw that out there. But like I said earlier, I'm a Sixers fan, personal bias, and just watching him play, man, he's just so dominant. And like Jokic is also dominant, but these guys are just so different. It's hard to compare. I mean, the intangibles that they both bring are insane. Obviously, both having very different play styles, but you guys have Jokic at your 1. I have Embiid at my 1. Jokic at 2, if not. Like I said, they're interchangeable. So I mean, you guys can make the case on, why Jokic is insanely better, but
I mean, I would start with reigning back-to-back MVP, but
Yeah, it starts there. It start with the field goal percentage from both the field and 3. I would start with the assist numbers. I
I
believe
do
in
want to.
rebounds.
I do want to
is
say
Embiid.
though, you are right
Um,
that there's a clear teardrop, like in terms of a ranking. Like there's
Yeah.
there's one, then there's 2, and then
That's what I'm trying to
everybody
say
else.
here. It's like, these guys, like, yeah, if you look at the accolades and stats, Jokic by far by a mile, grand
Look,
slam.
we know
But
you put Embiid at 1 because you're a Sixers fan. Okay, we can
obviously,
move on.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, exactly. From here on out, though, I mean, I think we would probably all have a somewhat consistent top 5. But yeah, who's up next? Who wants to go number 3?
All
I'll
right,
just shoot with number 3
all right, go ahead.
because it
Go for it.
is Anthony Davis classified as a
Yeah.
center. Are we classifying him as the number 3 spot? Because he was the only really guy on this list outside of the 2 we mentioned that had an MVP case. It was more because health, and honestly, in most teams, he's a 4 at least. But before the whole, and maybe from here on out he is a 5. But throughout his career, he's been known as like the best power forward that current times. Yeah, is there anybody that's close for you guys? Anybody? Because once it gets to 4 and 5, I think we're gonna have some interesting things.
Yeah, I think just to the viewers listening, we kind of had, I mean, we all made our lists like however long ago, but then we kind of came into the call and realized that we consider some people centers / power forwards, and there's this whole debate. So like on my list, I just think of Anthony Davis as a power forward. So I didn't even have him on my list, but I fully agree with number 3. I mean,
Okay.
I know a little bit of
Yeah.
basketball, so yeah, I'm comfortable with putting him at 3. But
How about
yeah,
how about
I
we
just know
do
every time
this?
he
How
stood for the
about
Lakers, he was a center.
yeah.
let's
Well,
my
on the
biggest
Lakers,
thing.
on the Lakers, he is a 5, but I don't know. For some reason, I've just always thought of him as a 4.
No,
Like,
I know. I hear you. I
how
really do.
about to avoid confusion, we each individually go through the rest of our lists and debate it a little bit, but then that way, like you can preface it and say, "Hey, I forgot AD. Like I say, he's a power forward, so he's not going to
yeah,
be on here." So instead of like each of us going like, "Who's our 3? Who's our 4?" Like, so there's no confusion. We go one by one with our list.
yeah, sure.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
Christian,
Yeah.
you can keep going. You've got the floor.
I'll just read it off. Yeah, because again, I don't think I missed anybody. I know you guys are gonna think I probably missed one guy, but I didn't miss him.
Okay.
Just trust me. Number 4, we got Bam Adebayo. At number 5, got DeMontis Sabonis. At number 6, I have Karl Anthony Towns. At number 7, I have Pascal Siakam.
I already know who the guy you left off.
At number 8, I have Kristaps Porzingis. At number 9, I have Robert Williams. And then number 10 is Jarrett Allen.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Well, there's a couple names you definitely left off there.
Would love to hear it.
Porzingis at what was that?
Check
8?
the numbers, bro. At 8 or 9.
Jeez.
I remember I had I know what I had Robert Williams at. I had him at 10. Yeah, he
Robert
was at
Williams
8
at 10.
because I had Jared Allen at 9. I had to kick off Jaren Jackson from this list. I don't really know why.
I mean, Gobert's having a pretty poor year, so I can't really. I don't have.
Oh, trust me. If you
to
want me to
argue
dive
that.
more into it, bro's having worse defensive rating since his rookie year. He actually is. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. Lowest points per game since 2017. Rebounds are way down since 2016. Lowest assists ever in his career. And that's just the offensive side. Defensively, the Timberwolves are a worse defensive team. I already mentioned his poor defensive rating. And even off, like when he's off the floor, they are statistically a lot better, plus minus. And so if you're bringing a guy on defensively and he can't even give you that, he's played 39 out of the 43, 44 games this year. He doesn't get the health excuse. So, yeah, I'm sorry. If he's not really contributing anything to this team, especially when they gave up so much capital, I have a hard time putting a guy in my top 10 centers when he doesn't contribute to winning. But if someone would like to push back on that, please do.
I mean, I have him on my list, but like I said, if I'd have made this list before this season started, he would have been a lot higher than he is. So I really don't have that much pushback, and I think you can make a case for every guy that you put on there instead of him. So the one guy who would give you the most pushback, unless Luke's going to be out of character, is me. But Luke, any pushback?
Yeah. I was gonna say pump the brakes a little bit. I think Buddy just got injured, so I mean, we can't hate on him that much.
You can go look it up, bro. He's missed 3 or 4 games. Everyone's using that excuse.
Oh no,
He's
I'm
played
just saying
39.
like he like recently got injured like within one of these last couple games. So I ain't gonna hate on him while he's down bad, but I'll hate on him when he gets healthy.
On him for what I'm gonna hate on him for the first half of the season.
No, I'm with
you. The Timberwolves
have
been worse, bro. Like they traded half their team, their entire future, and got worse. Yeah. And people are like, "Go Rudy Gobert." Come on now.
Yeah, it sounds like the Denver Broncos, but yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah, pushing back. This is Russ Wilson 2.0. Like
I'm not pushing back, man. Yeah, I mean,
look at Laurie Markkinen, bro's an MVP all of a sudden. You got to be kidding me.
Crazy, bro.
I'm not saying MVP, MIP, but
yeah.
There you go.
yeah. That's not gonna start acting crazy, but the fact he's averaging 25, and I think if he scored 25 in a Bulls game, it was like, holy crap, he had a good game.
Yeah, wow, we actually made a good draft pick. Yeah, no, too bad that never happened. But anyway, Caleb, you can go ahead with your list. I'll go after you.
All right. All right. So number 1, Jokic, Embiid, and AD are my top 3. We went through that. Number 4, I do have actually Domantas Sabonis. 5, I have Bam Adebayo. 6, I have Rob Williams. 7, I have Karl Anthony Towns. 8, Gobert. 9, Jarrett Allen. And 10, DeAndre Ayton. Honorable mention to Valanciunas and Jakob Poeltl.
Ayton.
Okay. Yeah, oh man, he was one of those guys. I looked at him. I said, all right. Do I like DeAndre Ayton? Check the box for no.
I will just preface, you guys could very easily talk me out of DeAndre Ayton at 10. I hit a hard time putting him.
I think we can too. At least, like, if we're classifying Siakam as a center, he's
okay. I should have said when I made the list, I classified Siakam as a 4. So Siakam,
I even feel like
clears probably into the top 5.
I double check the receipts. I'm pretty sure Pingus is better than him, man. Like I'm just gonna double check, but like, there's a reason the Suns are not good, and I don't think it's Booker and really even Chris Paul. It's probably their giant, David Robinson should have been. Yeah, Pingus is averaging 22 points a game on 9 boards and 3 assists. I don't think Ayton's doing all that. He's like 13 points a game.
Yeah, I think he's kind of. I just feel like his career with the Suns is just already expired, man. He's just
there. He's just John Collins.
John Collins without the ups.
Yeah, bro. DeAndre Ayton's 16 points a game this year. All right, that's his career. I'm sorry, 17.
I have personal beef with Kristaps, so I'm not putting him on my list.
That's fair, but let it be known that every statistical.
I know he's having a great year. I know he's having a great year, but when I looked up the Bleacher Report articles and what other people were thinking before I made my list, I was like, "There's no way he's making my top 10. I refuse."
Hey man, I didn't think it was either, but I can't ignore a 22-9 and whatever from a guy when. The center class is there's the top, and then this 6 through 10 range could really be 6 through 20 in terms of debating. Really though, if Siakam is classified as a center, I just need to say he needs more respect. He's averaging 26 points a game this year on 8 boards and 7 assists.
I would have put Siakam at 4 or 5, right behind AD or Sabonis.
He's good, man. He's really good. So that's really the only pushback in terms of Ayton. I mean, the goal is that he'd be a top 10 center, but bro is basically just the biggest Marshall Plumlee I can find. I mean, that's I'm
Yeah.
sorry, maybe Mason or Miles Plumlee.
Hey,
I don't even know which
stop
one anymore.
disrespecting plum gods, bro. Stop it.
I mean, they make bank and they've been playing, so I guess you're right.
I'm a little surprised. I thought me putting Sabonis at 4 was going to be a hot take, but you had him at 5.
I was about to say, I actually think 5 was the lowest I could put him given the season he's having.
Yeah.
Like if
he
you look
is
at the Kings,
insane.
it's him and Fox. Like
Yeah.
it's you got the red rifle and Kevin Herter, but like in terms of what that team's got, man, I remember last year Trey Lyles was like playing heavy minutes at the 4. Really, it was like starting half those games. It's just a
Jeez,
different
yeah.
tein. It's a different team. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Yeah, I don't know. Ayton was really the one I was like, what in the world? I mean, I get why because like the consensus is he's a 7-footer. He should be good. He's on the Suns, but
like I said, it's not easy to talk me out. If I was going to swap him, keeping Siakam off the list, I'd probably go Jakob Poeltl. But
okay, no, and he's like a most traditional center I could find.
Yeah, he kind of falls a little lower for me, but I'll
Wow.
go ahead and name off my top 10 here. And just for the viewers as well, I did not consider AD a center like making this list.
That's fair.
I would have like put him at my 3 spot, but just because I have the list, I'm just gonna read it off. So number 1, we got him Joel Embiid. Number 2, we got Jokic. Number 3, I got Bam Adebayo. Number 4, I got Domantas Sabonis. Number 5, I got Siakam. Number 6, I got Cat. Number 7, I got Miles Turner. Number 8, I have Jarrett Allen. Number 9, I have Brooke Money Lopez.
Oh God.
And number 10, I have Yusuf Nurkic. And my 2 honorable mentions of 2 guys who I really like are Robert Williams. Obviously, he's a fringe top 10 guy. I had a hard time like distinguishing if I wanted him to be 9 or 10, but I just threw him in the honorable mention. And Nicholas Claxton, someone who I think is very underrated in the NBA right now.
He's underrated. He is. I feel like Robert Williams should be in that top 10. I don't think Yusuf Nurkic is all that.
Yeah, but
I understand his numbers are a little underrated, but like impact wise, like you can tell when Robert Williams is on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't think Nurkic does a whole lot defensively either, which is like you think
really
he'd have better offensive numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a battle of both worlds. Like it's Nurkic on the rebounding and offensive side and Robert Williams on the defense. And I'm sure he's a pretty good rebounder as well. But I just gave Nurkic the edge because of I feel like his overall ceiling, like offensively, can definitely, blow Robert Williams out of the water. But then again, when Robert Williams stays healthy for a whole year, I mean, he's a defensive player of the year candidate. So I don't know. And then, Nick Claxton is basically like a younger, better DeAndre Jordan. So he just dunks the ball and grabs rebounds all game. So, I mean,
I would agree with you that granted he's not my top 10. However, in terms of underrated, like everyone kind of looks at that Nets roster and is like, how are they doing good? They only have Kyrie and KD. Well, Royce O'Neal is averaging almost 5 assists. Nicholas Claxton is turning in prime DeAndre Jordan. Yuta Watanabe is like one of the highest percentage 3-point. Like they're having just a bunch of random dudes kind of go off, which, hey, those random dudes need their due diligence. I thought in game this year, like many of us, this had no roster but outside of Kyrie and KD. And maybe Markieff Morris, but like,
just a preface. I had Claxton at my 12 spot. He didn't make the top 10, but he was just one of the guys who I thought I should mention because I really hope he gets better. I mean, I think he will get better these next couple years. I feel like he would almost play better at a power forward position with a dominant center kind of by his side. I feel like that would be a good compliment to him, or even like a good power forward. Because I mean, I don't know, KD, he's not really, I guess you could call him a power forward, small forward if you want, but he's basically a guard, small forward. So so that's the top 10. I'm surprised I didn't get any Brooke Lopez hate or
I haven't spoken yet.
I'm not gonna hate on Brooke Lopez. I'm not gonna hate on him.
Where'd you put him?
He is at
Put him
my
at
9 spot. Leads the league in blocks, I believe. So
Yeah.
All right,
know,
can you
that's
please
gotta
read
mean
the
something.
8 names in front of him, please?
Yeah. So we got what? Should I put him at number 1? Is that
No,
what
no,
you're saying?
no,
Okay,
no.
okay. So
I'm trying to
okay.
remember who
I
you
think he
didn't
thinks you're
put in
missing
front.
somebody.
Okay. We
So
got
I kind of
Jared
see what you're
Allen.
saying.
Jared Allen at number 8, Miles Turner at 7, Siakam at 6, and then I'm sorry, Cat at 6, Siakam at 5, and then the top 4 guys. Unless I'm just completely missing on someone.
And I don't mean to put you on blast, but I just gotta hear the justification as to why Miles Turner is at 7 when I put Hingis Pingus at 8, and Hingis Pingus is better in every statistical category.
Talking to me or Luke?
No,
Talking to Luke.
Yeah.
Like by far. Like he's got like 5 more points,
Oh, yeah.
a couple more board. Like it's not close.
Yeah. Has Miles Turner?
We all hate Hingis Pingus around here. Is that
yeah? Oh yeah. That's what I was
you
getting
guys
to.
both
Yeah.
just hate him. Like if
Hey,
that's what it is, bro. Like I get it.
I
I'm not
said
even
I
gonna-
hated him, but I was just about to bring him up. If we're gonna
Yeah.
put Brooke Lopez on the list here,
I mean,
Well,
I also consider Porzingis more of a
Is
4 too,
is
but
Rob Williams your 9?
he's my 11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Brooke
honorable
Lopez
mention.
is not better than Robert Williams. I'm sorry.
Depends what you look at. I actually am seeing the case because Brooke Lopez.
Christian,
provides the
anything you
element of
say
he can
regarding
shoot.
Brooke Lopez is completely biased. Anything
Yeah, he can shoot. He can
Yeah,
shoot.
He can shoot and
He
get
can block
blocks.
both.
Yeah.
What does he
doesn't
do
really
that
get
Gobert
rebounds.
doesn't?
Yeah, so can Kristaps.
No, he's got more blocks than Gobert. He actually is a way better offensive bag.
Also, Luke, I do, ignoring what he's saying, I do expect better from you regarding Gobert over.
No, you
Brooke
don't. No, you don't.
Lopez.
Gobert is not a top 10 center in the NBA right now.
He's better
Not
than Brooke
this
Lopez.
season. If you really want to go there, I would say the numbers back that like alone in my argument.
Okay, this season alone,
like Gobert,
I'm dying on the Lopez
and,
hill. I'm gonna be
yeah,
honest.
like Gobert has been garbage this season. Like he literally hasn't been this bad since like his first couple of years in the league.
Whose
and
peak
even
is,
then,
whose
it's
peak
like
is higher, guys? Come on. Who has a higher
probably
ceiling?
Brooke Lopez. Brooke Lopez was
Brooke
like
on
the
the
Nets leading
Nets.
scorer for a bit.
He was a franchise player. I mean, Rudy Gobert is just one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Rebounds, blocks, not really a defensive
No bag.
presence.
Bro,
I've seen him get
I
closer.
honestly, right now, you guys are making me feel like I'm in the office and I'm Jim, and I'm just looking at the camera to the people I can't see because you guys are just.
You can look for the people.
You
Those
just
people are
said
not
that
out
Brooke
there.
Lopez's peak was higher than a 3-time defensive player of the years. Has Brooke Lopez ever even made an All-Star game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Has he made 6?
I'm gonna look that up. I don't know about.
No, he
hasn't.
hasn't. The answer is
think?
no.
No, he's never made an All-Star game. Are you serious?
Bro, Kyle Korver made an
6.
All-Star
He
game.
made
I don't really want to
1.
hear all the All-Star chatter. All right, like
dude,
if the Hawks can send 4,
what are we talking about right now?
what are we talking about, bro? Who cares about Rudy Gobert's All-Star stats? He didn't even play in the
Compared
game
to
because...
Brooke Lopez, it matters.
This
Lopez is not going to be a Hall of Famer.
season.
Rudy Gobert
This
will
season,
be.
I think as a Bucks fan, if someone was like, "Yo, we just woke up, like Rudy Gobert is now your center instead of Brooke Lopez,"
that's a
I would be
terrible
so
fit.
mad.
I would be so
mad.
That's because of the rest of the.
But where does Gobert fit in today's NBA? I think that's my biggest argument. Where does he fit anymore outside of the Jazz to get them to the second round? Because with the Timberwolves, it's clearly bad. And I feel like everywhere else, I don't know, it's clearly bad.
I'm not taking back anything I said earlier about Gobert having a horrible season. But what I am going to say is that he is definitely better than Brooke Lopez, guys.
No. Statistically, it's just not there.
Oh my
it's not there, man.
I'm stepping out of this. I can't. Honestly,
if you're stepping out, I can't have the conversation with the Bucks fans. So
okay, well, that's the thing.
Blocks per game is Rudy Gobert have this season?
You clearly have the
because that's always the hill. It's Gobert's defense, what he provides in the paint. What is he doing in the paint this season?
I'm waiting for you to say.
Because I know for sure if Shy's close in terms of total blocks, I know per game Brooke Lopez has got him beat.
Oh my gosh! All right, we're moving on.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah. We probably should move on because Rudy Gobert's dead. But
no,
yeah,
we're not moving on because of that. We're moving on because this is a redundant conversation with a Milwaukee Bucks diehard fan that I'm not going to subject myself to.
Hey, man, I'm just going to read this off. All right. 2.5 blocks per game
For
this
who?
season. I think Gobert's got like
Guy?
30 in the 39 he's played, but I'll make sure to double check it for you because
So what's
I
next? Are we
don't
putting
know.
Lopez over? Are we putting Lopez over Gobert all time?
It's not all time. We literally before this
Oh,
conversation like the top 10
I know the
centers this year.
conversation. I know the conversation's this year, but I'm just asking.
Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
mean, right now you'd
No,
have to
like this is a
really track the numbers for me.
separate
In
discussion,
terms of
man. Separate
what
discussion.
is
Do you
what is
rank Brooke Lopez higher than Rudy Gobert as an all-time center?
in terms of all time, I'm gonna get grilled if I don't, but I'd love to see at the end of the like both of their careers. I really
The
would
fact that your
because
answer
Gobert
wasn't
does
just
nothing.
unequivocally no is enough for me to like prove it.
Yeah, because you're a defensive stan, man.
No,
All right. When
man. No, man.
Gobert, when he
It's not,
puts up
yeah,
12
I
on
am
a
a
night, that's
defensive
his
stand,
career
but we're
high.
talking about a Hall of Famer and somebody who's not. Like what?
Rudy Gobert is a Hall of Famer all of a sudden?
He has 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. The record is 4. There's only
Oh
3 people
man.
ever who have won that many.
Okay.
Only 3
Jeez.
people
Okay.
ever who
Okay,
have ever won
that
that many.
okay. I don't. I just
Okay.
think I have to say this. Okay, yeah. I'm not trying to take away Gobert's accolades. 3 defensive player
You
of the years.
can't
That's insane.
tell
But
me
he is one of
a
those
taller
guys.
Luke Cornett is a
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. I'm not getting
First
behind
off,
that,
in
bro.
basketball, if we're going to have this Hall of Fame discussion, I'm pretty sure me and you could make the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame because it's a joke. So, I mean, Lopez might
Yeah.
actually even get in. That's how much of a joke it is. So, for a guy who has the third most or tied for the second most defensive player of the years all time, and I'm pretty sure only 3 guys have ever won 3, then yeah, he's going to get in. And 6 All Stars and whatever. I mean, I heard people talking about is Kyle Lowry a Hall of Famer? Like, no, he's not, but he might get in
Yeah.
for the Pro
Jeez.
Basketball Hall of Fame because he has 6 All-Star games. Like, that's how easy it is to get in. And you can't even like we
Well,
could
I
come
mean,
back
yeah,
next
but
week.
by that logic, yeah, I think Broke Lopez like has as valid of a shot then to get in. Because
I
I
don't
think
think
Gobert,
it's as
honestly,
valid, but
from
yeah,
this,
he has a
I'm calling
shot.
it from this day forward, Gobert is going to turn into Jahlil Okafor. Straight up, like he's gonna get played out of the NBA, not even to his fault anymore. It's just the way things are going. You got Siakam actually running center, and like, I'm sorry, I don't see
I
a
don't disagree. He's
7'2"
having the
tree
worst
trunk
year of
who
his
is
career.
losing mobility because he's in his 30s. Just don't love it, man.
I don't
Love it.
disagree. I
So,
mean, he's one like I think we can all agree he's one of the most polarizing players throughout his entire career to rank. But he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, if we're going to debate that, this is ridiculous.
Okay, I might have to side with Caleb on that part. I'm looking at this list of defensive player of the year leaders and all these guys like Ben Wallace and Mutombo. I mean, Mutombo is basically, has a similar game to Gobert. He got 4 defensive player of the years, and I think he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I'd think he is. Dwight Howard, he's not a Hall of Famer yet. I'm sure he'll get one. Mark Eaton, is he in the Hall of Fame? I mean, he was 7'6". He better have 2 defensive player of the years.
Yeah, he is.
well, that's typical Jazz, bro.
Yeah, like what are they doing out in Utah? Man? They're growing these guys like trees and says, all right, man, stand under the paint. If they try to poster you, just block them. We'll win a ship. And they never win a ship.
They never did.
they don't win a ship. So yeah, I don't know what's going on out in Utah, but I really don't even know what's in Utah, if I'm being completely honest. I heard it's a nice scenery, but yeah, the fact that I don't. Let me stop roasting the Jazz for no reason. Shout out Lauri Markkanen, but yeah, I think we should probably segment into talking about Brook Lopez and Gobert.
Yeah, I know I'm on the complete like other spectrum of like I think Gobert is a pile of garbage. He's like the garbage can. Like
I'll give you
but
that.
like I understand there's people that are like he's underrated, so I'm not gonna stay on.
I mean, look, I said
I just like
horrible this season. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna debate whether or not he's better all time than Brook Lopez or whether or not he's gonna make the Hall of Fame, yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, you got to put your foot down. But just to preface, also the list that we all made today was just current season NBA. I will say on my list, Miles Turner, that was probably a little bit of a reach. I mean, I still think he's fringe top 10. I don't know why I put him so high, but I also hate Hingus Pingus, so he was also my
Yeah,
top 10.
jeez.
Yeah,
No,
he is
these
having.
guys
I
are
will
just
say
like you're just
I will
honest.
say
You're like
he should.
we hate him, you know, like
Yeah,
that's
he's having a
fine.
good year. I
He
just
is how he is doing good with the Wizards. I'll give him that. Wizards are, I would say they're on the come up, but I don't think that's possible for that team. So anyway, we can
Comes to
we
the
can
fifth seed
segment.
at best.
Yeah, we can segment. We could do
coming up to the
better.
play-in, I guess. But
Oh,
There we go.
all right, all right. Do we want to do who he played for?
I'm down, man. I'm really down because we have a former Wizard that
Oh boy,
is gonna make things very entertaining.
Is it
You
Michael?
know, huh? Did you
Is it
say
Michael.
Michael? Michael Jordan?
Wizards MJ. You know, it's a funny work reference. I'll have to get in that story another day. No, John Wall. Oh boys, this is going to be a entertaining conversation because I think a lot of people have a vastly different view of him. I know, especially from our childhoods and growing up, I think all three of us hold him in very high regard. But
Oh yeah.
we'll see how things kind of entail. Right away, better or worse than Caleb. Well, and I guess Luke would be in this. Brandon Jennings. No, no, I'm kidding. That was a 2K reference. All right,
Wow.
the mini god.
That's
Book.
debatable. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's
All
not.
right. 2K, give me Milwaukee Bucks, Brandon Jennings. I'm dropping 60. Anyway. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.
No. I'll make it more of a brain buster, if you will. John freaking Wall, man. It's I could just use it. It feels cheap, but like it is all time. So Bradley Beal, better or worse all time than John Wall. I'm curious what you guys have to say because I'm actually very torn. I think sentimental John Wall, but if I really crunch the numbers, I might have to give it to Beal.
So I guess I probably should have done this beforehand, but pulling up John Wall's basketball reference page is
It's not ideal.
fairly
It's not,
unimpressive.
it's
Man.
not ideal, man. I'd have to say he's more of a playoff performer.
Playoffs? When was he in the playoffs?
Jeez, maybe like a year or so with the Polish hammer. Boy.
I mean, he's averaged 20 points three
Oh
times in his entire career. I don't know where. Now that I'm really like, I'm having an existential crisis, man, because I think of this man so highly, and he is just not that good. I guess he has double-digit assists on, double-double, but
All right. All right. Let me start this one off. All right. First of all, I gotta say this. Shout out the Polish hammer, Marcin Gortat. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I will preface by saying that John Wall, like I remember coming home and like, oh geez, it was like 6th or 7th grade. I had like a little flip phone and I would use my limited like megabyte of data. I don't know about a megabyte, whatever it was, but I would use it watching John Wall highlights on my way home from school. So
the
John Wall,
360
he was
spin
like,
layup.
yeah, I mean, he was on the Wizards. Like he was such a good player. I mean, he used to get compared to D Rose all the time. It was both of them. But oh man, these guys are both just played for both played for not very good teams. Both don't know how to win. I think overall as a player, oh man, it's so hard to say. Like I want to lean Bradley Beal because of the scoring. But I don't know. I honestly, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna go Bradley Beal, but I will recognize that John Wall, like assists wise, defensively, I think he might have been a little better, but I think I'd have to go Bradley Beal.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys duke it out. I'm like a minute. Keep talking. All right. I'm just not.
Yeah, I gotta go Bradley Beal as well. I mean, I pulling up John Wall's basketball reference page is not way more underwhelming than I thought it would be. And then comparing that on the next tab to Bradley Beal, who averaged 30 points a game back-to-back seasons in 2019 and 2020, and is a career average of 22 points. I mean, Beal's obviously a better scorer, a better shooter, and Wall. I think you're right on the defense, maybe a touch better facilitator, yes, but yeah, I got to be honest. I'm really starting to wonder why we even put him in the same conversation as some of these other players back in the day.
Yeah.
But that's just like that just happens sometimes. There's examples of like guys who are really good players for the majority of their career, and then their legacy is just that they were mid because when you pull up a box score, it doesn't pop up. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think you
Reggie
can
Miller
almost,
esque players a little bit, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, you could almost say the same thing about D Rose. I mean, I'm definitely taking D Rose over John Wall, but he wasn't, when you compare D Rose's stats to like the likes of these great point guards, I mean, he's
well,
really,
yeah,
I would say like you like say like comparing him to Steph Curry. Just obviously Steph Curry is the better player, but like you can't really compare players like D Rose to these guys just because of the time of the league and like like it's kind of hard to explain, but I feel like you know what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like John Wall is one of those players, but then again, he also was not as good as Derrick Rose, so that's why I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm giving Bradley Beal the edge.
yeah. I
Um,
think I think the what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that like players get thrown into these like elite, like top five position group discussions relative to the rest of the league. So just like we talked about with centers, like people are going to say in 20 years, like Gobert was a top five center for X amount of years, and like that's true. But then you get to this where he just falls off a cliff one year, right? I feel like John Wall
yeah,
falls in that discussion where like you pull up his stat sheet and it's like, what did this guy do? But he was probably a top five point guard for a decent amount of his career just because there was nobody else. Like,
yeah, true
you
that.
know,
Mm, mm.
but it's just
Yeah,
very
no,
relative. I think I'm going to name that category of player the Reggie Miller category. I'm just going to be honest. Might be a little
Yeah.
disrespectful to Reggie, but yeah.
no,
So, Christian, I took Bradley Beal to refresh you, or
Yeah,
since you
and
definitely.
mentioned.
Luke, were you on the same
Yeah,
train as Bradley Beal? Yeah, it pained me, man, and that's really why I didn't bring it to the panel because I was like, especially in our day, it's like, oh, you think of the Wizards, it's John Wall, Bradley Beal, all right, and especially it was like kind of felt like John Wall was the guy and Beal was the second option, and that definitely was for a time, but man, right now, uh. I can't like look, especially the numbers I listed off earlier. I can't look at Bradley Beal's career and be like, yeah, like he's a worse player than John Wall. He was able to expand his game, and I don't really think John Wall has been able to. As of I don't think his three ball is atrocious, but conducive to era, it's it's dicey. That's all I'm
oh
gonna
Yeah.
yeah.
say. But
Yeah.
what do you guys got
I've
next?
got an interesting one. I think I know who you guys are going to go with, and I think I can really make the case here. But better or worse all time than John Wall, Kyle Lowry.
Wow.
I hate that I know that when I take John Wall, you're gonna make a case for Kyle Lowry,
Yeah.
and it's gonna make me so mad. But like, I as a basketball viewer and consumer can't watch those two play and look both of you in the eyes and be like, I really think Kyle Lowry is a better basketball player than John Wall. I can't. I just feel like one on one that there'd be a point in that one on one where John Wall just rises up and dunks it all over Kyle Lowry. Like I just think it was John Wall being stuck in the Wizards, kind of like how Bradley Beal is right now with Hingus Pingus
How is that
and
different than
Russ
being
and
stuck
whoever.
in Toronto, man?
I mean, DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion, I still feel like it's underrated. Like he was definitely the number one option there for a long time. He was always the number one option there, really. I don't think Kyle Lowry ever
I
was.
mean, I
And I
to
think
play
John
devil's
Wall can
advocate, I feel like
definitely
we
make that
established
claim.
Beal was the number one option. That's why I feel like it's a good like.
Beal was number one option in like 15, 16, and then once John Wall got hurt, I'm saying when they were both playing on the team together, that was John Wall's team. And I don't
All
think
right.
it's ever been a point where Kyle Lowry, it's like, oh, this is Kyle Lowry's team. No, it's always been DeMar's, even with like the Heat. Like he's always been a second, even third, option with the Heat. And even just You can maybe throw a numbers bomb at me that's going to change my mind, but I feel like in every big moment, like Kyle Lowry's never there. And sometimes at least John Wall show up. He's had some bad playoff games, but like game 6 against the Celtics is something that like comes to mind.
All right. All right. Before I make the case, Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, give me John Wall. I don't care about the stats.
He's not care about this.
Yeah, make your case, but yeah.
Yeah. So what?
I want to hear it.
I'll pose the question, guys. What do we like classify as like valuable things in terms of like building a legacy? Like, what are things that matter?
Just
championships,
Championships,
ability.
accolades, ability, yes. Longevity would be another one, correct? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, John Wall's still playing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so is Kyle Lowry, and Kyle Lowry's been around like 6 more years. So Kyle Lowry has the same amount of 20-point per game seasons as John Wall, has a higher career points per game average, and just 2 less assists. So Wall is definitely a better facilitator. I'd give Wall a little bit of an edge in terms of athleticism and defense for sure. But Kyle Lowry has some things that John Wall does not, namely being surprisingly more all-star appearances, which is I was just as surprised as you guys. But Kyle Lowry has been to 6 all-star games. John Wall's only been in 5. Kyle Lowry was on the 2015-2016 All-NBA squad. John Wall has never been All. Oh, sorry, he was. They have the same amount of All-NBAs. I misread that. But Kyle Lowry, the big one, is a championship, and John Wall does not have that. I make the case sheerly off of better scoring, longer, doing it for longer, been in that same tier of point guard, right? We talked about the tiers, right? Like that like B to C plus tier. I think,
unfortunately,
for the entirety of their careers.
I hate to say it, man, but oh, jeez.
And the guy was a benefactor of Kawhi Leonard, and has more All-Star appearances. So clearly a better scorer, and has been a better scorer for a long time. Miami years haven't been great. He's taken on a little bit of different role, but we forget, man, this guy was 20 points a game, 7 assists, for multiple years in Toronto.
Yeah, but I'm going to push back on this with this. Not only has Lowry played 6 more years, as you prefaced, maybe it's not the exact number, but
5.
John Wall is also, so it's 5.
No, 6 because John Wall sat out.
Right.
Two seasons.
He was injured.
It's actually.
I was going to say, in terms of 2 seasons, he sat out, and then the Rockets didn't want to play him first. Like, that's 3 seasons of John Wall's career we never got to see. And I feel like the last time he was kind of like in his peak when he signed that deal, he was a better player than Kyle Lowry. And I understand the one championship that they got lucky with the Warriors getting hurt and having Kawhi on the roster. It definitely changes things. I do think environment and circumstance is everything. But I will give Kyle Lowry his flowers for staying consistent. He was able to stay consistent.
Yeah, I mean, if Wall plays the Achilles year and then the other, last season, I think it's, we see more of him. But what we've seen this year is he's come back at age, I'm trying to find 32, age 32, and Lowry is 36, and Lowry's having a better season statistically. So, in almost every category except, let me double check assists. Yeah, he's having a better season statistically. Let me double check. I might have misread that.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's. Yeah,
no, he is. He is.
I can't even.
He's better than him at age 36 than he is at 32. So,
John Wall got screwed, man.
I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree. And Lowry is just, he's lucky that he got that championship.
Sucks.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to think about. Kyle Lowry had Kawhi, and now not only does John Wall have Kawhi, he also has Paul George, and there's no chance they win a championship this year. So very unfortunate for John Wall. I mean, he was like my favorite first favorite player, I should say. But yeah, I mean, when you lay it all out on the line like that, I mean.
Thought this was gonna be a
It's
cool
tough.
conversation, man. Now I'm just
Made-
depressed.
I'm
Like,
getting, yeah, I'm getting sad. I'm gonna be honest. That
this is
makes me
like
sad. Kyle
we
Lowry's
just
like,
keep holding John Wall lower and lower to the fire. Like, oh my god,
It's
this
yeah.
sucks.
yeah. I will say I will
Who you
agree with
got,
your
Luke?
one-on-one point. Before Luke goes, your one-on-one point, I think Wall wins.
It's
Oh,
fair, but like we can say it
yeah.
was like Derrick Rose, like in Derrick Rose in his prime before he blew out both his knees. Like, yeah, like, but when you're really looking at it like basketball legacy, this stinks, man. Like John Wall really does. He's probably gonna be forgotten in like 20 years. As bad as that
Oh
sounds,
yeah, he's going to be in that.
he's gonna
I
be
can't
like
even think
Baron
of his name.
Davis.
Kevin
Like,
Johnson
oh
level point
jeez,
guard.
yeah, that actually is perfect.
I think, yeah, I'll finish this guy up at least by saying I think it falls down to this. Kyle Lowry is just consistency and accolades and just, more steady throughout his whole career. John Wall, not so much. I think John Wall, assuming he had, everything goes perfect like it did for Lowry, which, I mean, perfect, I guess you could kind of argue that. But regardless, I think John Wall had the much higher ceiling and could have been a much greater player. But because of injuries and being stuck in Washington, whatever you may call it,
Yeah,
yeah, I think Kyle Lowry takes the edge. I can't believe I just said that for the public.
on live, yeah, it
Um,
hurts my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I guess I owe
I
you
gotta
guys an
admit it.
apology. I brought the case. It was clearly
Nah,
convincing.
man, we owe you and honestly Kyle Lowry an apology. I wasn't familiar with his game, right? I just wasn't familiar with his game, and I guess I was familiar as a hater, but in terms
Yeah.
of crunching the numbers, it sucks. And it really sucks to have to eat this one. Um, Luke, did you have a final guy for John Wall? Please don't say like
Yeah.
Jeff Teague because I can't let it go any lower. I have a
Oh,
feeling someone
jeez.
can probably.
I don't even want you to look that up. Okay. Anyway, so I'll preface this by saying, so you guys kind of took the all-time route. Well, at least for this guy, I'd like to look at it from like just a current, like past couple seasons type of thing. Well, I guess just this past like season or two. But John Wall, better or worse than, let me just pull up my list real quick. Where did it go? Here it is. Trey Jones of the
Dude,
San Antonio
Oh, yeah.
Spurs.
We are really going down.
Hey,
you
man.
could have just said Jeff Teague. You could have just said that, and it would have been the same result.
All right, so
I'd
so
like
you're
to-
saying since Trey Jones entered the league, which would have been the 2020 season.
He's a better player than John Wall since he entered the league. I'm not even going to push back on this. I can't believe it's leaving my mouth, but I guarantee you if I go Google right now.
Here's the numbers. Okay, Trey Jones rookie season, 2020 to 2021 season, he averaged 2.5 points. See, I mean, played in 37 games and 1.1 assists. That same year, John Wall with the Rockets averaged 20 points, 7 assists, a steal. I mean, we don't need to go into all the other stats. That's all that really matters for this conversation. Trey Jones, his sophomore season, 21-22, which John Wall didn't play, averaged 6 points, appearing in 69 games. And we'll give him 3.5 assists, I guess. And then this year, Trey Jones is averaging 14 points. He's upped it even more, improving to 6.5 assists, 4 rebounds. And John Wall this year is 11.5 points, 5 assists, and not even 3 rebounds.
I think the point I was trying to make by picking someone like Trey Jones, like a rising young, I don't know about star, but a rising young player is, and it really pains me even more to say this after the conversation we just had, but like someone who's kind of, we got one guy on the right, he's on the uptrend, and we got the guy on the left, and he's on the downtrend. I mean, as of late, Trey Jones has been playing very well for the Spurs. I mean, the Spurs are a poverty franchise, so he'll be dishing it to Wembanyama at this rate next year, but hey, I mean, he's someone who, like, I mean, I know Tyus Jones. I think he's still in the league. I knew him, and then Trey Jones kind of came out of nowhere. And I mean, I don't know. I wanted to bring light to his name. He's been hooping lately. And John Wall, 6-man. I don't know. I just want to hear your guys' perspective.
This is a little bit more like predicting, I guess, what happens with Trey Jones. I think if I'll answer your question. If we were to play tomorrow night and I was to pick a roster, actually, I'll say this: if I was to pick a roster to play one season, right, just one season to win a championship, I'm probably taking 2023 Trey Jones over 2023 John Wall, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Obviously, all time John Wall is still going to rank higher in terms of stacking a legacy, right? It goes back to that like Zion conversation we had where it's just so early that we can't like put him there, but like he's going to get there. This is a smaller scale of that. But if I had to predict how Trey Jones's career might play out, I wouldn't be shocked if it plays out somehow similar to Tony Parker if they do get Wembanyama in. I'm just going to be honest,
Yeah.
and then we're looking at a guy who's a career like facilitator. He probably peaks at about 15, 16 points a game and is like multiple years over 7 to 9 assists. And it's like, man, he was a key contributor on like 3 Spurs championship teams, right? And this is going on like a best case scenario for him.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he's going to be better than John Wall all time, but time will tell.
Yeah. That's very well said. I don't really have anything else to add other than just pain.
Yeah, I was
really
kind of
thought
just
this
trying to
was-
bait, like, because I prefaced by saying like, oh, like this mainly this season, or I guess the past couple seasons, whatever. But I was trying to see if anyone would take the bait and take my boy Trey Jones over John Wall. Which I mean, right now, yeah, I think we all would. But give it a couple more years. R.I.P. John Wall. But anyway, let's stop. Rubbing the dirt on and John Wall.
Well, let's talk trash about somebody who's fun to talk trash about, and that's playoff P, man, PG-13. Christian, I'll let you. Do you want to go first, or do you want? I'm very interested to see.
I think I've actually kind of want to see what you guys have to say.
I know. All right, then Luke, I know you said you had
on Earth with Paul George, but we'll see.
I got a couple pretty good guys here. I have a feeling I have 2 guys. I'll cut 2.
I would just use your best one. Yeah, I think we probably got time for one each.
All right. Well, in that case, oh jeez, Paul George better or worse than James Harden?
Oh gosh.
Well, Paul George still doesn't have a ring, and neither does Harden. And well, Harden does beat him in pretty much every statistical category and has gotten gamed by like half the league. So I'm gonna go with James Harden. As much as Paul George provides defensively, it's clearly proven to not be enough. I mean, the guy really can't get to the conference finals on his own, let alone even sniff the finals. And Harden at least can do that with some help. So giving it to James Harden here.
Yeah, this goes back to the bus rider conversation a little bit. I think that Paul George's Indiana years get a little forgotten about, but they weren't like anything close to James Harden's years.
I don't think they could compare. But as for just that role that they played, oh yeah, Paul George
think he was the bus driver on. That's what I'm trying to say. I think he was the bus driver on a team that pushed the Heat to 7 games, but James Harden was the semi truck driver carrying like a 15-wheeler behind him, taking the Warriors to 17 games. Like, look, and just reading the accolades, right? Like Harden got more All-Stars. He's got 3 scoring champs, 7 All-NBA. He's on the top 75 team. He has an MVP. He has that 6th man of the year as well. And he was the assist champ in 2016, 17. And then Paul George, 7 All-Stars. He got the steal champ, 6 All-NBAs. Most improved player, 4 all defensive teams. I mean, 2 all-time players, honestly, when it comes down to it. But yeah, I got to go Harden here. I think when it's all said and done, he's easily a top 5 shooting guard all time. And I cannot say that for Paul George at small forward.
I have an Indiana Pacers. When I used to be, my dad's from Indiana, so he was always putting the Indiana sports on me. So I was a huge Paul George fan. Like I got his jersey and stuff. He was another guy like John Wall, who I was really big on early in my life. But yeah, I'll let Caleb. Do you have a guy, Christian?
Yeah, I got a guy. I've got a couple here. So if it gets too easy, we can switch it up. But I think this should be a little bit interesting. Very similar play styles from these 2 guys, but Better or worse all time than Paul George, Jimmy Butler.
I knew that one was coming. He was on my list as well.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Talk about a difference in the playoffs, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh. Well, like in his peak, Paul George was good. But even that's like, holy cow.
I don't know. Like a part of me, okay, if I was an NBA GM right now and I had an open small forward spot, I think I'm taking Paul George if I'm being quite honest with you. But oh man, I feel like
But like, why?
offensively,
That's
I
like, I guess I keep kidding myself with like the why.
and that's the
It's,
craziest part is because I don't know why. I feel like he
yeah,
brings
it's
more
just
to the
because it
table than Jimmy
feels,
Butler. Yeah, it feels right, but it's not. I
yeah,
don't think
it's
it's right.
not.
I don't think
Well,
it's
I'm
right.
trying to give my, because it's like Jimmy Butler can score in the playoffs. He can really do anything in the playoffs.
Can
And
make the
Paul George
playoffs.
always sells in the playoffs. He always plays worse. Like, I can't feel good really about either answer. I'm gonna take Jimmy Butler. I guess Paul George still has a little bit of time. Like he kind of needs to like go on a run with the Clippers like
Oh yeah.
this year. Like
Oh my
as bad as that
gosh.
sounds, like
Jimmy Butler averaged 27 points per game in the playoffs last season.
that's what I mean. Like Paul
And
George just
21 in
doesn't
the
do
regular
that.
season.
He
Oh my
doesn't do like Paul George doesn't elevate like that. A little like going with Jimmy Butler. There's so many. My eyes have just been open today. It's
Has been
crazy.
Yeah,
open
It's
today.
dude, really,
crazy.
really, man. I think, yeah, I think strictly based off place like playoff performance, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Jimmy Butler. I can't believe I'm saying this, but man, I had to
I
That
don't I
hurts.
don't
I had
I
to do a lot
don't
of sorting of
I
players today
don't
in my
have
head.
to make a case, but I do want to say that the playoff P narrative that originated in the bubble. Was that the? I mean,
Absolutely.
I thought it was
Actually, probably the
before.
Thunder.
I
It was
thought
a
it was
Paul
Thunder.
before.
George historically is not
He's
that
not that
bad in
bad.
the playoffs. He gets this
Yeah.
knack. I mean, let me just read his playoff just points per game
Oh
going back
It's
to
man.
not
2016.
atrocious. It's just
22, 27, 28, 25, 28, 20 in 2020, and then 27 last year. And when you look at
mm,
his like regular numbers, those are all elevated except for one where he averaged 28 with OKC as last year. All that to say, I'm still taking Jimmy Butler because he just elevates that much more. He literally increases by 7 points per game in playoffs. It's
yeah, that's ridiculous.
astonishing. And like when you get into this conversation about Paul George, you always have that backdoor like, oh well, he's one of the best perimeter defenders too. Like throw that in there, but that doesn't
Yeah.
hold up when you're going against Jimmy Butler, who has more All NBA or All Defensive teams. So yeah, I gotta go Butler, which
Yeah.
is crazy because I like Paul George. I've always stood up for him in conversations, but
Yeah.
Butler.
All time,
No,
yeah,
yeah,
I'd have
it's
to go with him as well. All I gotta say now is Damian Lillard FaceTime. Ever since then, oh man, I haven't looked
it's
at Paul
Yeah,
George the
and
same.
the other thing too is I think Butler's lasting legacy is going to be the guy who was always just came up short, but always took his team as far as he possibly could with what he was given. And that's not how we're going to remember Paul George, right? Like my lasting memory of Jimmy Butler is always going to be him like almost passing out from exhaustion in the bubble finals. That's
right.
Damian Lillard is my lasting memory of Paul George. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
for
it
sure.
is very good take. Um I I had a guy, but we can honestly just pivot to who he played for. Um
well, who you got? We'll go.
goes
We'll run it
more.
quick.
The only reason he's here is because he has way more rings than Paul George. But it's not really. He had some ability when he played in his prime. Andre Iguodala. Yeah, exactly. It's like
I don't know, man. Of everyone on Golden State,
Who's
the
taking that
Martians,
last shot?
who's
Who's
taking that
taking the
last shot?
shot?
The Martians have the
no.
death beam pointed at Earth. No, I'm going Paul George, man. I know you're trying to specifically bait me with the rings in this one, but yeah.
I was, but then I realized who Paul George was, and it's like as much as he gets slander and flack, we're all still realistic to an extent. I mean, we have our biases, but come on, dude. There's no way. Like, if you put Paul George on any of those Warriors team, it's broken. Like, it's just broken. So
Yeah, give him Paul George.
Yeah,
May
I
as well.
mean, I'm also a firm believer in the 2015 Finals MVP is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Um,
would
I've,
have to
n-
concur. It's pretty
I've,
bad.
I really have no understanding as to how he got that award, but I mean, pulling up his numbers too is kind of atrocious. The dude has an average more double-digit points per game since 2013, and has never done it as a member of the Warriors. So
Jeez, man.
that's it's a rough go, but Paul George for sure.
Yeah.
Takes us to who he played for. So the classic segment, Um,
Love it.
I've got 2.5 guys. So like, if that makes sense, I have 3
I
names.
think we can all just shoot for 2. I know I gotta get out here pretty quick, so
All right,
we'll just kind of get
I'll
thing
rip
rolling.
it then. I'll rip it then. All right, this guy, no years, no position, just gonna rip it. Drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves, then spent time with the Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns, went back to the T Wolves, and now currently plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wolves, Jazz. You run those teams back again?
Yeah, T Wolves,
Oh yeah,
Jazz, Suns, T Wolves, Cavs.
that's such an interesting dude. Wow,
Unbelievable. It's so dumb.
Oh,
that's
he's got it. Oh, you've got it.
He's
Of course
yeah,
got
I
it.
do have it.
He's
Of
Yeah, I
course
got
know
he's
the
it.
got it. Why am
country
I
and
asking?
everything, man. Country and everything.
Okay,
All
can
right,
I
Luke. Well,
can
I'll
I
give
get
you the
some
years
years?
now.
Like, jeez.
Drafted in 2009 by the T Wolves, did not make his debut with the T Wolves until 2011. Went to the Jazz in 2017. Went to the
Interesting
Suns in
stat.
2019. Back to the T Wolves in 2020, and has been with the Cavs since 2021.
Oh man. Oh jeez, I told myself I was going to study for this, and I didn't. I simply didn't.
Bro, I don't know
I
what you
just one
study
go
for.
about
I don't know.
studying.
I don't know how you'd study this guy, to be honest with you.
Okay, well
He
then
hasn't
at
even
No,
this
you
played in a
definitely have
bit.
heard of this guy.
Oh, you totally have, yeah, but like it's been a minute.
and he's on the Cavs now, and he was what was the team?
Absolutely.
What was the team before? The Warriors.
No, the T Wolves.
Timberwolves.
Jeez.
He's best known for his time on the T Wolves
Absolutely.
and being
Okay.
drafted before a certain player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I was for some reason the first thing that came to mind earlier was Alex Len, but that's definitely not him because he was on the Suns, and who knows what other teams he was on. 2009 on the Cavs, old head on the Cavs.
He started with the T Wolves.
Oh, jeez.
He
Yeah.
was with the
Okay.
T Wolves from 2009 to 2016.
I got nothing. I got nothing. Just Christian. Who is he?
Well, it's not Johnny Flynn. It's Ricky Rubio.
Oh, jeez, Ricky Money Rubio. I haven't heard that name in so long. He just came back, didn't he?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he did.
yeah,
Oh
torn
my gosh,
ACL.
I forgot about him, man. Shout out Ricky Rubio. Jesus.
He's nice with it. He's nice with it. I guess I'll give my guy. What the heck? I don't know if you guys are gonna. He's a known guy, but this career path is actually dicier than I remembered. He was drafted in the 2017-18 season with the Mavericks. He spent time the next season with the Mavericks, but in 2018-19 he got traded to the Knicks. Then he was with the Knicks until 2020-21. So I believe that was the bubble. Then he got traded to the Pistons. And then last season he was with the Trailblazers, and now he's currently with the Hornets.
So Luke, you lost
I don't
it.
got it. I don't
you
got it.
lost
I
I
was
don't
about to
get
say, I was actually gonna be kind of impressed, but yeah. And for the record, I know that sounds pretty brutal considering in 2017 he's played with like 5 teams in like 5 years, but he's actually getting significant minutes with the Hornets this year. Like if you watch any games, you know who he is.
This is his first year with the Hornets.
Yep.
It's not Plum God then.
Oh my God.
Man,
I will shoot out another hint. J. Cole loves this dude. It's not Markel Fultz.
Okay, that doesn't help me at all.
That's unfortunate. He's in a dunk contest with J. Cole.
who was he drafted by?
The Mavericks.
The Mavs. That ain't gonna help me.
Oh,
The
jeez.
Mavs to the Knicks. Plays significant minutes for the Hornets.
Okay. Say,
You
wait,
got
say
it?
the team. Who was he drafted by? I think I might have it.
Mavericks. Then after a year or so, he was traded to the Knicks.
Knicks.
And then midway 2 seasons ago, he got traded from the Knicks to the Pistons.
Okay.
Last year, he signed with the Trailblazers, and he is currently with the Hornets.
I got it.
Yeah?
All right, go ahead, Luke, because I got no leads.
Is it Dennis Smith Jr.?
Nice. Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
I will
Dennis
preface by
Smith
saying
Jr.
I cheated a little bit because I pulled up the Hornets roster, but that's only because I know like 3 players on the roster.
That's fair,
That's
bro.
crazy.
If I have to make
you know
pull up
how
the
many more I
roster,
would
that
get
helps.
if I just guessed 1 out of the 12 players, man.
Hey, that was the only time that's ever been done in history.
All
So.
right.
Yeah, that's what
I mean,
that's what you guys need, man.
Yeah, you
do your
can see me.
thing. Like that's almost a compliment.
I got too much pride for that. I'm not giving that to you, Christian. No way. I don't need a handicap.
Streak. I'm on a cold streak, man.
I'm the coldest of cold streak. Actually, I think I got one last week.
Ah, Jesus.
I was gonna guess Ish Smith again. I would have got the last name right, but
I'm not gonna use him probably for a while, if ever again.
Oh no, I will be the next to use Ish Smith.
Even reading that, I felt bad. I was like, no one's getting this. His career path sucks.
Luke got it.
Right. Yeah, because I had basically like, yeah, he was a staple of this game. Like it was not because of what he did. But no. What's next guy up?
I'll run my guy here. So this guy started off his NBA career in San Antonio. He played there for a year. He was then traded to the Pistons for 2 years. After his stint with the Pistons, he was traded to the Clippers, was there for a year. During that same year, he was traded to the 76ers. And during that same year as well, he was also shipped to the Mavericks, where he played on the Mavericks for 3 years. And last year, he was traded to the Rockets, where he currently resides.
Dang it, man. I thought I had it. That's not right.
What in the world?
The Rockets don't have that many old players.
I promise you guys know this guy. I'm gonna be honest. Him going to the Rockets this year was kind of I mean, I remember seeing it, but it was like not talked about at all. I'll just give you another hint. This guy is about as meme. Like this is for the memes. Like as it gets. This is about as big as memes as it gets. And that word big is also McGee. Figuratively and physically.
He never said the Lakers either. So keep
Clippers.
Drafted by who?
I'll give you the year. So started off in 2015 in San Antonio. He was there 2015-16. Traded to the Pistons. He was there 2016 through 2018. Traded to the Clippers. Was there 2018 through 2019. During the 19th season, he was traded to the 76ers. Also during that season, he was traded to the Mavericks, and he was on the Mavericks until 2022, and was just traded to the Rockets in 2022, where he is now. I feel like this is a guy who you don't really think about this type of stuff when it comes to him. Like,
Clearly, yeah.
I'll give you another hint. It's a big man. You guys know this guy.
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I always know the guy.
Very big man. Very big man. Very big man.
Okay. That might have sold it for me. That was impressive.
This might have been one of my best picks.
I will concede. Yeah, if there was, to be honest, with less hints, I probably wouldn't have got this one. which is actually surprising because you're right. This is a known guy. He's in a lot of commercials.
Memes, big man. Used to be best friends with
Absolutely.
Luka Doncic.
Tobias Harris.
Tobias
Yeah,
Harris.
yep.
Oh, gee, Caleb, you're gonna be so mad.
No, I'm picturing his face. Isn't he foreign?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this?
He was in a John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not the other Bogdanovich, is it?
Nope.
What is that guy's name?
I mean,
I think he
you're
knows.
pretty close.
I
Yeah,
think he
I
low
think
key
you know
knows.
too. You're pretty close.
I think if I say it, you'll get it.
Oh, Bogdan. It's just Bohan.
This
This is so stupid.
All
I'm
right,
not
Christian,
gonna
just
say
say it.
This is low-key like playing like Charles Barkley,
I'm
man.
taking
Like you
a-
know who it is. You know
I'm taking a half credit for Bohan.
Boban
Boban.
Marjanovic.
Boban.
Yes, Boban.
Oh,
Let's
what's his last
go.
name?
Marjanovic, dude.
Marjanovic? That's so the
That
same
was-
name.
I see. You know what the best part is? Because he's so big as a human, I see him on the Rockets bench anytime I see him play. I'm like, oh, Boban. But like even during this conversation,
it doesn't
never occurred to me.
register.
It never
The
occurred.
Luka
No.
hint is what started the gears turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right, I got a good one though. To move on, I'm taking a half credit on that one. Well, I probably shouldn't because I got a bunch of hints. But
You basically you were saying it, Bojan. Like,
you had the
you're
idea.
one letter off.
You
Yeah, you
sounded
got
it out.
all right. This guy started his career with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was then traded to the Chicago Bulls. Then he played for the Atlanta Hawks. Last year, he played for the Portland Trailblazers, and this year, he's currently not on a roster.
Bro, I think you're gonna be really mad if I say who this is.
No way you're gonna get that off.
Timberwolves.
Rip, bro.
Okay, Timberwolves.
I think
Bulls.
I know.
Timberwolves, Bulls. Who was it?
Is he a
Lakers?
guard?
I hate you so much.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I
I
might
know who
it.
this is.
T-Wolves, Bulls, Hawks, Blazers.
Such a
jeez.
good name. He could have been
Hawks,
so much better.
Blazers. I was thinking like Kendrick Nunn or something. Is that
No, it's not Kendrick Nunn.
okay? Well,
It's not Kendrick Nunn. That's funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Christian's
Um,
face.
is-
Oh
is
man, the Spotify listeners aren't gonna get that, but that was good.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, is it a Kendrick? Like I don't know any other Kendricks, but okay.
Yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Okay. Timberwolves, Bulls.
Drafted in 2016 by the the T-Wolves, traded to the Bulls in 2017, signed with the Hawks in 2020, signed with the Blazers in 2021, and like I said, not on a team.
This guy's already out of the league, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he known for absolutely anything besides Kendrick Lamar?
Maybe being a bust.
Yeah, being a bust. He was a key
Bulls
asset.
fans getting really hype.
Yeah, he's a
thinking he'd be
key
good.
asset as a part of a trade the Bulls acquired from the T-Wolves that did not work out.
Jeez, man.
It
Guard.
really didn't work out.
He was in the
Jeez.
Zach LaVine trade. I'll give you that.
Clearly not D'Angelo Russell. He didn't even get drafted by the T-Wolves. Jeez, yeah, I don't know. I'm blanking, bro. I got to start my studying, bro.
Fifth
You were
overall
close.
pick in the
You were
2016
close with the,
draft. Chris Dunn.
Yeah. The
Oh
Kendrick
my
Nunn. You said Kendrick Nunn. Me
Dude,
too.
I was
Looked at each
literally.
other like-
Oh my god, that's who I was thinking of, and I said Kendrick Nunn. Oh my goodness gracious! I forgot Chris Dunn was even a name, bro. Come on, bro. Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty Kendrick. Yeah, okay, whatever. Bro.
Yeah,
All right.
basically the same
I'm taking my
player.
half point for that. Okay, I don't care. I'll take a quarter point for that. Oh my!
I'll give it
goodness,
to you.
bro.
I'll give you the quarter point. That was hilarious when me and Christian looked at each other.
Jeez.
God damn.
Kendrick Nunn, Chris Dunn. I was like, how is it not Kendrick Nunn? Like what?
No, I was like,
Okay.
oh, that was close there. All right. Oh, jeez. This one's hilarious. Drafted in 2013-14 by the Nets. Stayed with the Nets for another season. Then the following year, he was with the Trailblazers from 2015-16 to 16-17. Then from 2016 through 2020, he was with the Nuggets. In the COVID season, he was with the Pistons. Last year, he's with the Hornets, and he is currently with the Hornets.
Dude, I thought it was, man. Hornets. What is it with you and the Hornets players today, man?
Dude, don't tell
You know
me
what's
it's who I
funny
think
is
it is.
I actually had 3 guys written down, and this is number 2, but all 3 of my guys were either current or former Hornets players.
Is this Plum God? I'm just gonna guess him.
I mean, which there's 3.
But the one on the
If you wanna-
Hornets,
if-
man.
If you want to burn one of your guesses, Luke, what did you have an idea?
Miles.
It sounded like you were
Well,
scheming there.
I don't know. I was kind of thinking of the Bojan something. I am cooked on his name, but that Bojan guy. I don't really remember him being.
Hold on. What years was he with the Blazers?
2 seasons from and actually this is kind of important, I guess, 2015-16, 16-17. Like you would have been watching.
It's not Nick
Dame
Batum,
time.
is it?
I will again bookmark that answer. So we got
he's
Miles
old- he's
Plumlee,
older.
Nick
He's
Batum.
older. I don't
Hey,
think
man.
it's. I don't think it's
Hey, man.
Batum.
Did you say Clippers?
I did not say Clippers, no. And he did not play for the Clippers.
It's not Nick Batum then.
COVID season, he was with the Pistons. I guess that really doesn't help because he didn't make it to the bubble. And then before that, he was with the Nuggets for a long time. Before the Trailblazers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna book in Miles Plumlee, and I know it's probably
Give me
incorrect.
Mason Plumlee.
Is it Mason? I don't even know, man.
All right.
Mason.
So the answer was it was Marshall Plumlee.
Oh my!
No, I'm kidding. It was Mason Plumlee.
What? Yeah, okay.
Marshall.
I'm taking credit for that, man. I said
You
Plum
definitely
God
get
right away.
yeah, you guys were right there.
I didn't know he was drafted
yeah.
by the Nets. I was thinking Brooke Lopez the whole way.
I almost think I should have started with him, honestly, because he had a career path that like didn't follow.
I didn't know. Yeah, I did not know about that. I did not know he was on the Blazers or
Yeah,
Nuggets. I kind of remember, but jeez.
Yeah.
No, you
Pistons,
said 2013 Nets, and I instantly thought of Chris Humphries, and it wasn't him.
Oh, jeez. Chris Humphries.
Kardashian curse.
But,
all right, was there? I believe one more.
Yeah, am I up to bat? Is this the last one?
Last one.
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys know this guy like everyone else in the NBA. You know him. So yeah, let's get started here. I'm gonna just give you years because, man, this is quite the career path. Okay, so
you're gonna regret that.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll see how we're feeling. So, boom, 2013. This man starts off in the G League with the Santa Cruz Warriors. Guess he balled out and was upgraded to the Memphis Grizzlies the 2013-2014 season. After that, in 2014, he returned to Santa Cruz and
I think I got it.
Was then upgraded to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh.
That was also in 2014. In that same year, he was downgraded again to the G League to the Erie Bayhawks. Not sure what state that's in.
Me.
2015, he goes to the Suns. Also in 2015, he returns to the Erie Bayhawks. Also in 2015, 4th team of the year, he goes to the Sacramento Kings, where he spent a year. 2016 through 2018, he was with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, I got it.
Portland Trailblazers, he was there for a year, 2018-2019. Returns to Dallas for a year, 19 and 20. Goes to the Sixers for 2020 and 2022, and traded to the Nets, where he currently plays now.
Man, Christian, you get to feel like this every time?
Yeah, most times.
That's crazy. This is such a good feeling.
What in the world?
Oh, you don't got it, Christian.
Bro played with the Santa Cruz Ice.
No.
Currently in the.
Oh wait, yeah.
Wait you Seth Curry?
Seth Curry, baby.
Seth
Curry. That's such a
with
good
the
one.
Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Oh,
For years.
I didn't know he was on the Suns, the Grizzlies.
Oh,
The
I
Suns?
knew. As soon as you said Santa Cruz Warriors, I was like 99% sure that you were either going to say Seth Curry or Klay Thompson's little brother.
Brother. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Michael Thompson or Michael. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I don't. Oh, wow.
No, man.
Okay.
Back in those days, I was such a diehard Steph Curry fan that I was like low key following the Santa Cruz Warriors because of Seth Curry, because I like Steph that much.
I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that.
Yeah, I did not know he.
I remember him
on
on
for this long.
All of those teams, like except the Grizzlies was a little like
Grizzlies, Cavs, and Suns. I do not remember.
No, it was the Cavs that I did not.
I almost thought it was Manimal, bro, for a second. All this G League time, I was like, is this Manimal coming up? But I think you're Nuggets or
the Suns, the Sixers, the Mavericks, and the Nets. I remember, and the Blazers very clearly for Seth Curry.
Oh
yeah,
that was fantastic.
I will say this: if you hadn't said Santa Cruz Warriors, I probably would have got there, but I can't guarantee that because I usually don't get.
I feel like I had to because I guess I could have just said the only NBA
G League,
but I'm not a
Hey, I beat Christian to
everyone here. So. I've kind of given up on trying to
stop
Christian.
You did.
So.
No, hey, you guys are getting really close. The Boban and even that one, like they're making me think.
The Boban.
Hey, it's a real win in my book when it takes over 10 seconds. I'll take that. I will take that.
I'm gonna start bringing a stopwatch and holding it up.
Yeah, that's a dub in my book. I'll take it.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening, guys. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Luke, thanks for coming on again. You're really spicing up these NBA Tuesdays, making it a lot more fun, getting a different perspective. So we appreciate it, man. And looking forward to next week. And Christian and I will be back on Thursday for divisional round preview with Jake to talk about the Vikings loss. So I'm sure those Vikings haters out there can look forward to us giving Jake a lot of problems. It's just a nice way of saying it. So Jake, we love you, but be ready. So thanks again for listening, guys, and we'll be back Thursday.
Peace.